Jayson.
This is Normiyah
and Jhermene.
And in this video, we are going to talk about Prim's
algorithm.
algorithm.
And now, let the tutorial begin. Prim's algorithm is a minimum spanning tree algorithm that takes a graph as input and finds the subset of the edge of that graph which form a tree that includes every vertex. Has the minimum sum of weight among all the trees that can be formed from the graph. So, how Prim's algorithm works? It falls under a class of algorithm called greedy algorithms, which find the local optimum in the hopes of finding a global optimum. We start from one vertex and keep adding edges with the lowest weight until we reach our goal.
Since Prim's algorithm is a minimum spanning tree, let me introduce to you the definition of minimum spanning tree. What is minimum spanning tree? A minimum spanning tree is a special kind of a tree that minimizes the length or weight of the edges of the tree. An example is a company cable wanting to lay line to multiple neighborhoods. By minimizing the amount of cable laid, the cable company will save money.
We are done with the definition of the Prim's algorithm. Now, to better understand what is Prim's algorithm, we have here the example or the simulation of how do the Prim's algorithm works. So this is the graph, and what we're going to do now is to find the minimum spanning tree of this graph. So to find the minimum spanning tree of this graph, we have here the steps that we need to follow. So the first step is to remove the loops and the parallel edges. So by removing the loops, we simply remove the loops without any consideration to its cost. So in the graph, where is the loop? So here's the loop. Now we simply remove it. So next is to remove the parallel edges. So in the graph, where is the parallel edge here? So here. Here is the parallel edge. So by removing the parallel edge, we need to consider, or we need to keep the minimum weight for this. So the minimum weight is 8. Since 9 is greater than 8, so we need to delete 9. Okay, so we're done with the first step. So let's move on to step number 2. So the step number 2 says that while adding new edges in this graph, select edge with minimum weight out of the edges from already visited vertices. So we have here the visited vertices and the edges that we're going to write. The edges of the visited vertices, we're going to write it down there. And then this step will repeat until such time that it reaches the n-1 edge. So n here is the number of vertices. So the vertices is like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 minus 1 equals 5. So if the visited vertices or the number of edge that we are going to visit later, if it reaches greater than 5, we need to stop the algorithm. Okay? Now let's start with the second step. So the second step is we need to choose which vertex we want to visit. So you can choose any of these. You can choose any of these vertices that you want to visit. But I choose A as I follow the natural order. So the visited vertex is A. So what are the edges connected to the vertex A? So this is the edges. We write it down there. So A, B, and AC. Okay? Now let's write the minimum cost, the cost of this edges. So AB is 1, AC is 5. Now, let's select the edge with the minimum weight out of the edges from already visited vertices. So the minimum weight is 1. So let's select AB. Okay, so let's write the minimum weight or the cost of this edge. So the cost is 1. Now, return it again. This AB makes the B. This AB edge makes the B to be the one that we are going to visit. So B is our newly visited vertex. Now let's see from the visited vertex. So the edges are BA, BD, and BC. So we don't need to write BA because this is a directed graph. That's why BA and AB is equal. So since AB is there, we don't need to write it anymore. So let's write BC and BD. Now the cost is of BC is 4 and BD is 8. After which, let's select the edge with minimum weight out of the edges from already visited vertices. So AB here is not included because it is already in the spanning tree. So the choices now are AC, BC, and BD. So the minimum weight there is the BC since it has the cost of 4. So since BC is the minimum weight, let's write it here in our spanning tree. And the cost is 4. Okay? Oh, before I forgot, this is the first edge that we are going to visit. We are now in the second edge. So next is BC. So this BC makes the C to be the next visited vertex. So let's write here C. So we are in the third edge. Sorry. Okay, so what are the edges from the visited vertex? What are the edges from C? Now CA, CB, CE, and CB. Now the CA and CB is already there. We don't need to write it anymore. We don't need to include it there because it's already there. Now CD, and CE. What are its minimum? Are its costs? The costs are for CD 5, for CE 4. Now let's select the minimum weight out of these edges. So the minimum weight here is 4. Now let's select CE. And then we write it to our spanning tree. CE. And its minimum weight its cost rather is 4. Now, since CE, it makes E as the newly visited vertex. So we write it there. And then we are now in our fourth edge. Okay, so next is, what are the edges from the visited vertex? The edges are EC, ED, and EF. Okay, but since EC is already there because C and EC is just the same, we write there ED and EF. Yes. And F. Its cost or weight is 8 and 9. Now, let's select the edges with the minimum weight out of these edges. So the edges that has a minimum weight is 5. So there are two edges, 5, that has the cost of 5, the AC and the CD. You can choose any of them when you write it to our spanning tree. So first I choose AC. So AC. But in this algorithm, it is no cycle allowed. Since this is, if we choose AC, this already form a cycle. So we cannot take AC as our, we cannot choose AC to put it in our spanning tree. Now let's jump to the next minimum weight, which is CD. So CD, so let's take CD because it doesn't form any cycle. Now let's erase it there, and then 5. Now the newly visited is D. And we are now in our 5th edge. Now D, what are the edges from the visited vertices? What are the vertices? What are the edges connected from D? Is D, C, D, E, D, F. So DC is already there because CD and DC is just the same. Also DE because ED is there, so there's only one, DF. Let's write it there. Its minimum weight is 6. So let's select the edge that has the minimum weight out of these edges. So let's select here, still 5, but we cannot take AC because it forms cycle, but in this algorithm there is no cycle allowed. Now we can take DF, since it doesn't form a cycle if we put it on our spanning tree. The cost is 6. So it is not necessary that if we, the visited vertex here, it doesn't mean that if we have the visited, the last. So this proves that the minimum weight is not always in the newly visited, edge. So it's not, that's the common mistake. It's not always in the newly visited. You can find in this example that it is not always in the newly visited. The minimum weight is not always in the newly visited vertex. Okay? So now let's move on to our, so F is the newly visited now. And then let's move on to our 6th edge. Now, 6th edge, our condition for our step 3 says that the algorithm should stop if the number of edges is greater than this. So we are in a 6. So 6 greater than 5 is true. So that means we need to stop this algorithm. So this is now our minimum spanning tree for this graph. Okay? Again, by doing this algorithm, let's just follow the steps, the 3 simple steps for us to create a minimum spanning tree. Now we simply Ano lang dito?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
What's up, guys? Ano ang what's up po?
Dili man kay ila-ila mo. Ano? What's up, guys?
Ano?
Abot magkakanak ko.
Ano say mo dire ka sa ano paanya? What's up, guys? Two, three, go.
What's up, guys? This is Jason.
What's up, guys?
Sige. And Jhermene. And now, let's begin.
Now, let the
Go.
Minimum spanning 3. Jump.
Ay, di na tayo medyo na.
Masana ko play.
1, 2, 3. Ang gatay na blurred ba yan?
Ito ng months.
Thank you for watching and have a nice day.